Hello everyone. Okay, we are back. So I'm sorry for ending on a cliffhanger last time, but I did want to have enough time in this video to capture some of the stuff that's going to happen, because there, as you might guess, there is some stuff that's going to happen here. So in the original King's Quest 2, you would open up the coffin, and there was pretty much a 50-50 chance of Dracula being inside. He'd either be there or he'd not be there. If he was not there, you could just take the key that you needed, because the key would be inside, and you could leave, and that would be it. If Dracula was there, you could kill him for extra points, and that was pretty much it. So let's see what happens this time.
The lid of the beautifully carved coffin is closed.
Actually, before I do something, let's just take a quick look around.
There is a beautiful, ornate coffin to one side of this eerie room. Dust is everywhere, cobwebs fill the corners, and a sickly odor permeates the air.
Actually, I guess there's not really much to see other than...
The torch helps very little to illuminate this damp and dimly lit room.
I guess there's really actually not much to see here except the coffin, so okay, let's go ahead and open it up.
The thick black cloak that you are wearing hampers your efforts to lift the coffin lid. Try removing the cloak first.
Yeah, so you do have to remove the cloak before you open the coffin. Just before I do that, though, let me just quickly show, if you try to quit the game, let's go ahead here and say quit.
Dost thou truly wish to cease our adventuring?
I just wanted to show that because it shows Graham. I don't think I showed that before. The actual little picture of Graham here actually shows him wearing the cloak, which I thought was a nice touch. But anyway, okay, let's go ahead and take off the cloak. We don't need it now.
You remove the black cloak again.
And let's try opening up this this thing again.
Nervously, you lift the heavy lid of the elegant coffin. You peek into its red satin interior. The coffin is unoccupied, and you feel relief wash over you.
All right, can we take a look inside?
As you prepare to look inside the coffin,
King Graham, I presume.
You turn on your heel. There, blocking the only exit from this dismal room, stands the Count. His skin is pale, his eyes jet black. He wears a black cloak nearly identical to the one that you possess.
You know me?
Ah, yes indeed. Sister Hagatha alerted me to your arrival, dear king.
The Count is tall and elegantly dressed with a black cloak around him. His face and hands are chalk white, and his lips are blood red.
By the way, somebody pointed out, I think it was Fire Wizard who pointed out in the previous video, Kaldar, which is the name of this count, is actually an anagram of Dracula. I don't know how I keep failing to recognize these fairly obvious anagrams, because there was also, I didn't realize that the genie was actually an anagram of Robin Williams. I don't know, I must not be very good at these anagram puzzles. They keep doing this. They keep just making anagrams out of famous character names, and then I don't get it. Anyway, so here's Count Kaldar. Let's see if we can we talk to him? Oh, too late. I don't think it really mattered.
In an instant, you are flat against the wall. The Count has you pinned so well you can't move a muscle, much less put up a defense. You can feel the Count's iron-cold hand on your throat. You have barely seconds before the inevitable happens.
Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and save here. Because there are a few things that can happen here. First of all, I guess you can just take too much time and die.
The Count has you helplessly pinned against the wall. The thirsty gleam in his eyes doesn't inspire your confidence. The Count no longer appears interested in humoring your delay tactics. There is no way you would be able to wrestle free from his grasp. His hold feels like cold steel. You feel two sharp pricks in the side of your neck. Soon after, your mind succumbs to unconsciousness as your precious lifeblood seeps away. Down for the Count.
Okay, so like I said, obviously you can just take too long and die. There are a couple of inventory items you can use on the Count. One of them is the cross. You might have the idea that you can use the cross on him to repel him. Let's give it a try.
The Count snatches the cross key from you, and to your complete surprise, kisses it. A sarcastic grin flickers on his face for a moment.
God bless Colima.
Is there a god in Colima? Again, this game keeps making reference to real-life places and religions, and I don't know if... I don't know how well that... Well, anyway. Or do Kolimans believe in God? Maybe they call him something else. I don't know. Anyway, so we lost the cross, but it doesn't matter. If we hadn't done that, he would have taken it anyway. So you can't actually keep the cross. You can choose not to use the cross, but the Count will take it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. What we actually need to use here is this ring. Now, I think I'm not wearing the ring, but I don't think it matters. I don't think you have to... Does it make a difference? I don't think it makes a difference whether you're wearing the ring or not. I don't think you get more points for wearing it. I think there's no benefit to wearing it at all. I think at this point in time I was not wearing it, but it doesn't really matter. We just need to use the ring on the Count. So let's go ahead and do this and see what happens.
You feel two sharp pricks in the side of your neck. Soon after, your mind succumbs to unconsciousness as your precious lifeblood seeps away.
I guess I took too long.
Down for the Count.
All right, let's try that again. Okay, this time I won't give him the cross, but you'll see he'll take it anyway. So,
with difficulty, you manage to loosen the ruby ring from your attire and drop it to the floor. The Count's eyes dart to it quickly, then flash angrily back to you.
Where did you get that?
The elderly woman who lives in a house to the south of here, near the beach. She gave it to me for helping her.
The Count regards you for a moment. His dark eyes bore unendingly into yours, and you feel as if your very soul is bare.
What do you know of her?
She is not well.
I know. Do you think I am not aware of that?
You are sweating profusely. Hopefully this vampire doesn't find the odor appetizing.
Night is the most dangerous of times for my mortal family. I have kept constant vigil over my wife for many years, so that from the darkness, no harm would come to her. When her time comes, we will be together forever.
I think tonight will be the night. I have seen her this very eve. I did what I could to help her, but I do not think it was enough.
As you watch the giant bat fly out of the room, you realize with dread that the Count has confiscated your crucifix. Without it, you are trapped in this castle. Now, what are you going to do?
So yeah, there's no... If you don't use the crucifix on him, he just suddenly takes it anyway without you noticing it until he's already gone. So for some reason, Graham somehow knows that Grandma is going to die tonight. I don't know how he suddenly knows that tonight is the night of her death, but he just somehow figured it out. And so he tells Kaldar that, and Kaldar flies away because obviously he wants to go see her. So we're alone here now. Let's take a look inside that coffin again.
You peer into the ornate coffin. Finding it unoccupied, you see that the interior is lined with shiny red satin. The thought of anyone sleeping in this coffin makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end.
No accounting for taste, I guess.
A beautiful satin pillow adorns the interior of this ornate coffin. At long last, you have located the final gem, the Death Gem.
Located it, yes, but...
You breathe deeply, reach out, and take the stone in your hands. It is ice cold to the touch, but you don't care. This is the last thing you need to unlock the door of destiny. Now all you have to do is get out of here.
And you might think, okay, great, we're done, right? Or almost done. We have the last gem. We just need to get to the door, open it up, and finish off the game. It's not quite that simple. Getting the gem was only half the challenge. Now we have to get out of this castle. So let me go ahead and save here. So yeah. So we're here. We got the death gem. We're done in this room. I think we can leave now. In fact, I don't think we'll... Wait, let's... Is there... Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we need to do here. So, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and try to leave and see what happens. By the way, I think the Count in this game, I think his physical appearance is modeled after... what was his name? I think it's Ludwig II, if I'm not mistaken. The guy who built... I'm pretty sure it's the same guy who built the famous castle Neuschwanstein in southern Germany, just next to the border with Austria. You know, that popular tourist landmark, the Snow White Castle that everybody knows in southern Germany, that everybody goes to as a tourist attraction in Germany. It was built by a really crazy king, and I think the physical semblance of the king was the inspiration for the physical appearance of Count Kaldar in this game. Anyway, so let's go ahead and...
The huge wooden doors are locked, and you can't open them without the cross key. It appears that you are trapped in this ghastly castle.
Indeed we are. What's a person to do? So, back here there's nothing much. I mean, there's no way out here. But if you remember, at the top of this staircase here, we have this room. And when I tried to go out the window, the game said you're not desperate enough to go out the window. There's a perfectly functional front door that you can use. But now...
The window looks out onto the island far below.
Yeah, we saw that before. It says the footholds, the bricks might provide some footholds if you need to go climbing. Well, now that the front door is locked, now we might be desperate enough to have to climb out the window. So let's give it a try.
Seeing no other possible escape route, you climb onto the ledge and carefully lower yourself outside, hoping to find a decent foothold. It is a long way down.
Alright, so, is this... Hold on, is this an arcade sequence that can actually... Is this like climbing the beanstalk where you die if you hit the wrong, Uh-oh.
Suddenly, you hear a switching noise in your ear. It's joined by two others.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's problematic.
You instinctively try to brush whatever it is away, but in doing so, lose your hold on the bricks and fall backwards.
Uh-oh.
Time slows as you fall, and your world turns black.
When I saw you, I knew it was true. There's a love between us won't be torn in two. Once waked from sleep, a smile and speak. We'll open a door forevermore.
Can I just,
Our guest has awoken, my love.
Ah, good evening, dear king. I do not believe we have been properly introduced. I am Count Kaldor, former lord of the realm of Colima. May I present my wife, Countess Lavidia?
A pleasure to see you again.
In gratitude to you for alerting me to my wife's grave condition, I took the liberty of preparing you a dish. I thought you might be hungry after your harrowing adventure at my window. You will forgive us if we do not join you. Our tastes differ from yours, do they not, my darling?
You shudder to think what different tastes actually means, but for some reason you note that you can no longer hear any rats squeaking in the distance.
Indeed, so much to become accustomed to.
You shall have all the time that the world has to share to grow accustomed to such things. Well, perhaps 30 years. Should the father locate the item by then, there might not be enough world left for anyone afterwards.
Has this father to do with why you frequently went abroad, always with that cloak of yours?
Most certainly. But I think that my affiliation with him and his association has come to a close. My obligations to them took me away from my beloved too often. I do not wish to repeat that mistake.
You are forgiven, my love.
Their attention, which seemed to have wavered momentarily, now redirects back to you.
Well, well, well. What to do with this one?
What were you going to do with him?
Kill him. I had quite clear instructions from Hagatha, who had apparently received them from the father himself.
But if you are not, as you say, affiliated with his association anymore,
They both share a knowing smile.
tell us, King Graham, why are you here in Colima?
You take a deep breath, trying to ignore the fact that you are the only one capable of doing so, and relate your story of the vision in the magic mirror and your quest to find the 3 gems of nature. The Count and Countess exchange cryptic smiles.
Romancing the stones.
Indeed.
Obviously, that was a private joke, as you did not understand it.
So you search for the one with which you would share the rest of your life. On that I cannot fault you, nor on your intentions here. Therefore, I can forgive the trespassing. However, there is the matter of the dark gem you wish to remove from my castle. I place a deal before you. I am looking for a magnificent sapphire-encrusted tiara. It is a valuable family heirloom and has been on this estate for centuries. This castle and its estate are old, though. It could be virtually anywhere, in any number of hiding places. I suspect there are many that even I am not aware of. I wish to present this tiara to my wife as a gift to commemorate the eternity we shall spend together. If you can find it and bring it to me before sunrise, then I will give you the gem you seek and your freedom.
You nod, unable to believe that you have virtually been ushered away from death's door just so you could run an errand for a couple of vampires. You do not want to think about the consequences if you fail to meet the deadline.
Okay. We have control of the game now, so I'll go ahead and save. Talked to Neptune. Now we talked to the vampires. Okay, I'll just say talk to vampires since I can't save longer than that. Yeah, I think obviously the reference to no longer hearing rats, I guess that implies that they had some rat's blood for dinner. Isn't there some classic vampire action RPG? Is it the Masquerade? Is it Masquerade Bloodlines? I think it might be Masquerade Bloodlines, which is that famous vampire action RPG that everybody loves, where you have to eat sewer rats, or not eat them, but like suck their blood for a blood source or something like that. Anyway, what I was going to say, I just wanted to say, I know that the love story between Graham and Valenice is supposed to be the centerpiece of this game, but honestly, I find that whole love story kind of bogus because it's all based on appearances. They've just seen each other once, and just based on their appearance, they say, well, that's the one for me. And, you know, love at first sight is a wonderful idea, but it doesn't always work. That's the thing. There are many instances where it just really doesn't work out that way. And, I mean, it can work out, but honestly, for me personally, the centerpiece of this game for me is not the love story between Graham and Valenice. It's the love story between Kaldar and what's her name? What's this woman's name?
The Countess is a slender lady who bears some resemblance to the elderly woman she once was. A black velvet gown graces her figure and makes her appear genuinely regal. Like the Count, her skin is chalk white and her lips are blood red.
I forget her name now. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. But anyway, this is a love story. I mean, the love between the vampires is a real love based on having known each other for a long time and having remained loyal to each other. I mean, the Count is still loyal to her, even though they haven't seen each other for years, but he still remembers her and hasn't forgotten about the woman whom he's loyal to, and they still, they still plan to spend the rest of eternity together, and even after death. Even now that they're dead, they still plan to spend the rest of eternity together in their undead state, which I think that's really a much more beautiful and romantic love story than this ridiculous idea of Graham and Valenice finding true love for each other just based on seeing each other through a vision once. But that's just me. Maybe I'm just not romantic enough. I don't know. Anyway, so we do want to... Hold on, before I forget.
There is a leg of ham on the table.
Let's get that, because that'll be kind of important.
You take the ham from the dining table.
Yeah, definitely don't want to forget that. But we also don't want to neglect to talk to these vampires, so let's, the rest of the stuff here on the table...
An entire smorgasbord adorns the tabletop. It sits upon an elegant blood-red tablecloth.
I don't think we,
You seem to have lost your appetite for eating at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame. They really prepared a huge feast for Graham, but he doesn't have any appetite for it, so that food's just going to go to waste, I guess. But anyway, we definitely don't want to neglect talking to these vampires while we're here. So let's go ahead and talk.
Pardon my asking, but as the Countess of this realm, I presume you have lived in this castle before now?
Yes, that is so.
Then how did you come to live in that old house by the sea?
After my husband died, I continued to live in the castle for a time. I watched my newborn son grow into a man, marry, and have a child of his own.
Possum.
Yes. Shortly after her birth, however, my son and his wife both befell a tragic end at the hands of...
The Countess looks pained and appears unable to continue.
I apologize if I have caused you to relive your grief.
A vampire cannot truly feel grief, but perhaps my wife still recalls hers. I shall continue for her, if you so wish.
I wonder what that's like to not be able to feel grief. That somehow seems like a kind of a grief in itself. I don't know. I'm not sure. Would I want to live if... would I want to be not able to feel grief? I'm not sure. Somehow there seems something wrong about that.
This story seems to have affected her in some way. You decide not to query the Countess further.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk to Kaldar.
Please, if I may know, how were your son and daughter-in-law lost to you?
They were slain by the Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood?
You have met them at the church.
Your mind reels, so that is the connection.
So everything's kind of turned around here. So, the monk at the church sent us here to kill Kaldar. That was kind of the mission that he sent us on, and that's why he gave us the cross, of course. But it looks like things are starting to turn around.
Why would the Brotherhood kill your heirs? Oh.
As you have just guessed, the Brotherhood wish an end to the reign of my family. Why else would they give you the means to penetrate my domain, so that you could do their dirty work for them?
The cross key.
Exactly. Stolen from me through stealth, and their own brand of magic. The Counts of Colima have all descended from a single bloodline. We have always been partial to change, as opposed to the stagnating status quo of the Brotherhood. Over the last few decades, the Brotherhood have tried to dispose of my family as best they could. That which I am now was brought about by them. They were the ones who set the monstrous, infected bat upon me. Long have I cursed my ineptitude. I should have used magic to defend myself.
Do not be so hard on yourself, my dear. I remember that night well. That hideous creature gave you no chance.
Perhaps. But I should have awoken. from my dark sleep sooner,
You forgot your Spanish,
then I
bro.
would have been able to protect our beloved son and his wife, and you would not have been forced to flee the castle, to live out your days in that wretched old house under a false identity.
It was not so bad a time. Dear little possum loved it. I hope she will be as happy in her new home. She has a new life now, with no reason to fear anymore.
This brotherhood, are they real monks?
They were once, but something happened to them. Local folklore would have you believe that Weirwood Forest is a host to certain entities, spirits of the wild they are called.
And what of them?
I believe the monks encountered these spirits. What occurred specifically is beyond anyone's knowledge but their own. But it is evident that the men were given the ability to transform themselves. Unfortunately, their minds were apparently transformed also. They began to believe they were destined to rule, and since have presented great danger to myself and my family.
So the danger you face is not a result of some decades-old feud?
Not at all, dear king, though history will likely reflect such. But, to answer your question, the members of the Brotherhood are no longer the goodly monks they once were. They do not represent their fellow brethren well.
Okay. I think we already got kind of an inkling when we met that monk and his wolf friends. I think we already got kind of an inkling that they're no longer just a pleasant fraternity of peaceful monks anymore.
So, I have until just before sunrise to retrieve this tiara?
That is correct.
And if I am unable to before that time?
The Count's eyes glint red as he looks directly into your own.
For your own sake, I shall hope that you are successful.
You bravely suppress a shudder. It seems clear that you are not off the hook yet. The Count has nothing more to say to you at the moment. The Countess has nothing more to say to you at the moment.
Okay. I'll go ahead and save here. Tiara quest. We need to find that tiara before sunrise. So, this has been the start of Tiara's quest. Thanks for watching, everyone. So yeah, we are, I mean, as you can see, we have 118 points out of 185, so we are something like, yeah, I guess 2/3 of the way through the game. Maybe a little more than that even, but I mean, there's still more to go. We're definitely not done yet. We still have some videos ahead of us, so yeah. There will be more of King's Quest 2 awaiting us. So, yeah, and like I said, I really love this part of the game. This is probably my favorite part of the game just because I love the love story between Caldor and his wife so much. It's just, I love how devoted they are to each other. I just think it's really sweet. I mean, yeah, they're vampires, and I'm not a vampire person. I'm not really into the whole vampire folklore thing like some people are, but I just love how devoted they are to each other, how she basically waited for, they both waited for each other. They've both waited for each other for so long, for decades, and they haven't forgotten about each other. And they've, and you know, now after death, they finally get to be together forever, and they're still so devoted to each other. I just think it's really sweet. I just think it's wonderful, and so I'm really touched by. I mean, like I said, to me, this is the standout love story of the game. But anyway, okay, so that is it for now. Thank you for watching, everyone. We will see more of King's Quest 2 in future videos. Until then, I say ta-ta to all of you.